What's up, everybody? Another great episode of Fourth Person Point of View, baby. And today I wanted to talk about Trump and Canada and Greenland. So if you've been following the news, you are aware that President Trump says that he wants Canada to become the 51st state. He says Canada should become the 51st state and it will save the United States billions of dollars. Trump says that Canada does not pay the dividends we need. It's a waste of money. He says Canada could be the 51st state and they can get all the protection and resources that they need. And the relationship that we've had for so long can still exist. Now, President Trump also said that he wants Greenland. He said Greenland is important for national security. Greenland has a lot of resources and minerals that America needs and wants. And if you're aware, Donald Trump sent his son to Greenland and they did like a little FaceTime call with some of the locals out there. And they asked them that they want to be part of the United States. Some people said yes and some people said no. Now, from a fourth person perspective, everybody's saying Trump's crazy. He's not going to do it. What's his problem? And I was like, wow. From a fourth person perspective, I understand why people are saying that Trump's tripping. Now, since we've been alive, most of us, we are used to this flag. Isn't it beautiful? This flag has 50 stars, but we have not always had 50 stars. Most people know that. But in modern times, everybody's so used to the 50 stars, they don't go back and realize that it was 1959 when we still had 48. Now, if you see a lot of older flags, you will think it's 50 without thinking about it, but it's actually 48. So we had a 48 star flag from July 4th, 1912 to July 3rd, 1959. Now, we had Alaska and Hawaii, which became the 49th and 50th. So we got Alaska in 1867, from Russia for $7.2 million. Now, Hawaii was annexed in 1898. Now, they didn't become states until 1959. And that's when President Eisenhower issued the executive order for the 50-star flag. Now, if you put that right there with what Trump is saying, now you see he's not just talking out of his head. I know Trump say a lot of crazy shit, but when that boy says he wants Canada to be the 51st state, he's not BSing, because you could easily throw that damn 51st star right there, and you never know the difference. A lot of people don't think about it. And if Greenland wants to get involved in this shit too, just like Alaska and Hawaii were annexed and purchased in 1867 and 1898, they did not become official states until 1959, which was crazy. So Alaska was the 49th and Hawaii was the 50th. Now, a lot of people don't go back and realize that we had those two territories so damn long before we actually put them on our flag. Now, if you go back here, I thought this was cool here. So it says the number of stars in the U.S. flag and additional states represented 1777 to present. So you had 13 stars from 1777 to 1795. And that was for Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, Virginia, New York, North Carolina, and Rhode Island. Then we went to 15 stars from 1795 to 1818. That put us with Vermont and Kentucky. Then we went up to 20 stars from 1818 to July 3rd, 1819. That's when you got Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana, and Mississippi. You got 21 stars from July 4th, 1819 to July 3rd, 1820. And that was Illinois. We went to 23 stars from July 4th, 1820 to July 3rd, 1822. That was Alabama and Maine. Then we went to 24 stars, July 4th, 1822 to July 3rd, 1836, and that was Missouri. 25 stars, July 4th, 1836 to 1837, you got Arkansas. 26 stars, July 4th, 1837 to July 3rd, 1845, you got Michigan. 27 stars, July 4th, 1845 to July 3rd, 1846, they added Florida. 28 stars, July 4th, 1846 to July 3rd, 1847, that was Texas. 29 stars, July 4th, 1847 to July 3rd, 1848, you got Iowa. 30 stars was July 4th, 1848 to July 3rd, 1851, you got Wisconsin. 31 stars, July 4th, 1851 to July 3rd, 1858, that was California. 32 stars, July 4th, 1858 to July 3rd, 1859, Minnesota. 33 stars, July 4th, 1859 to July 3rd, 1861, that was Oregon. 34 stars, July 4th, 1861 to July 3rd, 1868, with Kansas. 35 stars, July 4th, 1863 to July 3rd, 1865, that was West Virginia. 36 stars, July 4th, 1865 to July 3rd, 1867, you got Nevada. 37 stars, July 4th, 1867 to July 3rd, 1877, Nebraska. 38 stars, July 4th, 1877 to July 3rd, 1890, you got Colorado. 43 stars, July 4th, 1890 to July 3rd, 1891, you got North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Washington, and Idaho. 44 stars, July 4th, 1891 to July 3rd, 1896, you got Wyoming. 45 stars, you got July 4th, 1896 to July 3rd, 1908, you got Utah. 46 stars, July 4th, 1908 to July 3rd, 1912, you got Oklahoma. The 48 stars was July 4th, 1912 to July 3rd, 1959, which was New Mexico and Arizona was added. Then we got up to the 49th star, like I just told you, July 4th, 1959 to July 3rd, 1960, that was Alaska. Then the 50th star, July 4th, 1960 to the present, we added Hawaii. Whew, shit. Now, if you factor all that in, you can see there's a pattern, which they always add the star on the 4th of July. So when Trump's ass say he wants Canada to be the 51st state, he ain't bullshitting. That bastard is dead serious. It can happen. President Eisenhower issued the executive order. It was Executive Order 10834, establishing the design of the 50 stars. And I'm sure he put a, okay. Yeah, it says President Dwight Eisenhower authorized the 50-star flag with Executive Order 10834 on August 21st, 1959, which was then officially raised over Fort McHenry National Historic Site, July 4th, 1960. On August 21st, 1959, President Eisenhower issued Executive Order 10834, officially establishing the design of the 50-star flag. Let's see when it was actually, okay, that's what I was looking for. It says the flag was officially adopted on July 4th, 1960. There we go. Now, back to what I was saying. When goddamn Donald Trump said he want Canada to be the 51st state, that boy ain't bullshitting. He's dead damn serious. All it takes is an executive order, and now it would take an executive order for him to put it on the current flag. But what he would probably do is what Eisenhower did. He would designate a committee, and they would, talk about recommendations. Do they want to change the flag? And I don't know if that would take an act of Congress, but that's what Eisenhower did. But it would be 51 stars instead of 50. Now, with that being said, now you can see when this goddamn Trump say he want when he wants Canada to be the 51st state, all it takes is a couple goddamn pieces of paper and a pen, and he will make it happen. And I think that's how he's viewing that. It can happen. And I think the Canadians are like most of y'all. You live in a modern world where you haven't seen nothing like that happen in so long that you feel like it's kind of, he's talking out of left field somewhere, but that fucker is serious. Now, if you also pay attention, Trump is calling the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, which all it takes is the stroke of a pen. Now, that is international water, but once again, if you go back in history, all these territories was given a name. Let's check out Mexico here, the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, the name Gulf of Mexico first appeared on a map around 1550. Okay, so it says in Britannica, it says the first edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica in 1768 describes the Gulf of Mexico as a body of water northeast of Old Mexico. The name Gulf of Mexico has been applied to the body of water since at least the late 16th century. Now, once again, all it takes is the stroke of a pen and a little bit of goddamn policy and legislation, and the damn Gulf of Mexico will become the Gulf of America. And since America is a superpower, and we have so much leverage over places like Mexico and other territories, I don't think too many people are going to refute what Trump is saying. So if you pay attention to Trump's mind right now, Trump is on some historical goddamn conquering the world type shit. That motherfucker's trying to bring Canada as the 51st state. He's trying to take control of Greenland. And if you pay attention, like I said earlier, Hawaii was annexed in 1898. That was a pretty simple thing. Well, it wasn't just simple, but they went back and forth because a few European, I think it was Britain. I think Britain had access to Hawaii at first, and then the United States kind of got involved, and the people of Hawaii wanted to lean in America's favor too. So that's how America was able to get that territory. But like I said, from 1898 all the way up into 1959, it was just a territory that was annexed. So if Trump went out there and somehow got possession of Greenland or Canada, just like Alaska and Hawaii, he does not necessarily have to make a move right then and there. He can get both territories, sign some treaties and some legislation, and just let them sit. It's that simple. So my whole point was, when Trump says that he wants Canada to be the 51st state, he is not playing. That motherfucker is dead damn serious. And if he can get his way, he damn sure would do it. And Canada would be perfect for a plan like this because it's right on our border. Now, Greenland would be a little different, but the United States does a lot with Greenland now. They have an agreement with them on some military type stuff. But Canada, being right on our border, the relationship that the United States and Canada has, I mean, we're allies. I mean, I think Canada was one of those places that a lot of French settlers went to during the colonial era in America. So Canadians and Americans are not too different. They're more alike than they are different, trust me. But there's a lot of history when it comes to Canada. I mean, Canada, America, and Britain, because a lot of the British military had a lot of ties to Canada and the Indians, and it's just a lot of history involved there. But so just like we got American history, trust me, Canada is intertwined in it, just like the 13 colonies. And so, like I said, if Trump wants to take Canada, or he wants Canada, he's not BSing, he's serious. But I just wanted to put that out there. Because I keep hearing people saying Trump's crazy, he's talking out the side of his mouth, and I'm like, no, he's not. And if you just take this flag here and think back to President Eisenhower, 1959, it had 49 stars on it. 2 were added. When I first saw the 48-star flag myself, I thought it was 50 until I walked up to the flag display, and I was like, damn. It says 48-star flag. And I was like, wow, it is 48 stars. And from a distance, you think it's 50. Now, a lot of older people probably know this, but I'm willing to bet you from 1959 up into a few years, if you were not following the small details, you probably didn't know. Now, only people who probably did know right then was people who were responsible for like changing the flag out, like military, law enforcement, fire departments and stuff like that, probably a few schools. But everybody else, yeah, if you're not paying attention and you look at that 48-star flag and juxtapose it right next to that 50-star flag, you can't tell the difference. It's just 2 more stars added. So I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I just wanted to bring that to y'all's attention and let you know when Trump says he wants those territories, that boy is not playing. But this has been another great episode of Fourth Person Point of View, baby. I'm out.